Yep, I'm in here.
Okay.
Let me find one.
All right, here we go.
Okay, I'll get one for you. Council, I just let him come through.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, Mr. Brown, just have a seat. Oh, there used to be.
Sorry.
Please rise. 34th District Court is now in session. Mayor Tina Brooks presiding.
Have a seat, and once you sit down, if you want to, you can take off your mask because we're all appropriately social distance.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Brown.
They actually not certified, but strictly to otherwise we have to go back to the beginning and all that. That's why they're just making things shorter.
Yeah.
If you keep our stipulating fixing it for future, some of them, like, that's why I got this one, because they all these. So yes, anyway, all that good.
Periodically, Tim, will you jump over there and just look to see if Earl Washington's in the waiting room? I think I can tell from here, but I don't know.
It doesn't work half the time. Okay. It sticks.
Are we ready?
Just 1 second here.
Morning, Judge.
Good morning. I would tell you that while we're waiting, I got a report from pretrial services, if you want to take a look at that.
Sure.
Heather, I think that you can look through the whole thing, that it's flipped to and highlighted on the recommendation portion.
That's fine, Judge, but I would like to address it.
Oh, no, absolutely. If you wanted to share it with your client
Sure.
too.
And this is only the DSU report, correct?
Correct.
Does it have any of the information in regards to the allegation?
I
it's
think
all in
if you
there.
flip back, it had everything, yes. I think that they did the full report. And we can get you a copy of that also if you want.
Yes, you report?
It is.
Just So Judge, the report that I was inquiring about was for the allegation in regards to the tether violation.
No, I understand, and I didn't read the extent, I just read the recommendation, so I handed it to you. I just opened
I
the
see.
file and saw that it was in there.
I see,
And
Judge.
so, I don't know if they got all of that information. I imagine that they did because they knew he was out and then that he wasn't.
I didn't see that in there. I think they only have the charges on this case. Maybe I overlooked it.
Yeah, I think that they do an investigation of what it is in general, whether there's a tether violation or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, Judge, I recently learned that
Well, I mean, it says, they considered it because it says present bond, 25,000, 10%, not to be released. Original bond, 50,000 cash or surety. Second bail set at 50,000, 10%. Current 25,000 was posted on 5/15. Defendant was also placed on a tether. Defendant absconded from his tether and was placed back in custody in the Wayne County Jail on October the 9th per a tether violation. So the person that did this did know that there was a tether violation.
Okay, I don't have any report that he's absconded. I don't.
He
think-
used the word absconded. I think he means violated. The word was used absconded, but it's a violation of that he was picked up on a violation of the tether.
Understood, Judge, but I mean. if
You can make an argument at the
discuss it-
end. You can make an argument at the end. I'm just
Right,
letting you know that it's here.
Understood, Judge, and just to let you know as well, I think you had mentioned Judge Hathaway, that the case would go to Judge Hathaway for a violation of probation. I just want,
I completely did not.
not today, on the first.
No, I understand, but I wouldn't have known.
I think you read it in the tether violation.
Oh, okay. Don't get up again. If there was some comment in the tether violation, it was no personal knowledge of mine. It would have been, something that was written that they were taking him in on something else.
And just to let the court know, it's been dealt with and his bond, it was reinstated in Judge Hathaway's.
Okay,
Courtroom.
okay. Go ahead and call your first witness, Ms. Morales-Smith.
Your Honor, I have some preliminary questions to start with. Go ahead.
Yeah, do you want to? Judge, I know that the preliminary exam was held back a while ago, and so Ms. Morales, how are we going to proceed?
Are we proceeding from a point where we had already completed some of it, or are we starting from scratch, Your Honor? We were last here April 29.
You think that there was testimony taken? I don't have any indication that there was testimony taken. It says on April the 29th, defendant demanding a live exam
And I,
and a request for a witness detainer. I don't have that we,
yes, Your Honor, and I have that we started with the officers because the complainants weren't here, and that we got through the fleeing,
I stand corrected. I found the note, yeah. That we were through, is that,
and we were
Ms.
about to
Casto, do you
start
have
with the
that?
boys, and that's the complaining witnesses, and that's when she had requested a live.
It had requested a live exam. Ms. Casto, is that your,
That's correct, Judge. The police officers
It
did
testified.
testify
Yep.
via Zoom, but for the civilians, I had requested. and-
right, I've got that. So no, you can just put on your two.
So that was my question, are we starting from?
We're not starting from scratch.
The other issue I had, I don't know if we did it at the time, I was going to ask for a stipulation from the defense on the criminal history of the defendant. I have the court cases in which he has been found guilty, Your Honor. I just don't have them certified. I do have my officer in charge who can speak to looking at the lien and determining that those are our charges.
Those are actually the lien, that it's allowable under the lien anyway to hand that in. Ms. Casto, any objection?
I'm sorry, Judge.
I can take judicial notice of the lien anyway. So
Okay.
I will, of the prior convictions.
Yeah,
That makes this a habitual.
Yes, that
Yeah.
makes it.
For
and a
purposes of
habitual and
exam.
a possession, a felon in possession.
Yep.
He was unable to be carrying a weapon
Yep.
at the time. Okay. Then people would call, let's start with Aaron Tucker. No, Aaron Tucker.
So how many witnesses do you have then?
I think we'll have, that takes it down a bit if we don't have to rehash the fleeing and the PORNO. I think that'll take it down to 4.
The
we'll
first
start-
is Aaron Tucker.
The first is Aaron Tucker.
And all the way up here, Mr. Tucker. And when you get here, if you could raise your right hand. Solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God. Have a seat, and once you're sitting, if you want, you can take off your mask because we're all social distanced, okay? Go ahead, Ms. Morales Smith.
Thank you. Sir, can you state your full name for the record?
Aaron Deontay Tucker.
Thank you. And sir, what brings you here today?
Something happened at my apartment. I forgot when it was, but one night something happened.
Okay, and give me just a quick second. And if you had your statement, would that help you with the date?
Yes.
All right, let me grab that for you. Meanwhile, you said something happened in your apartment. What was the general thing that happened?
It was just, I was letting my dog out, and I was letting my dog out, me and my brother and my little sister, we were letting the dog out. And he had his dog, I had my dog, and we were just chilling the dog out. I told my dog to come in. I yelled his name. I seen the car speeding, and he was speeding real fast, and it slowed down all the way. And I don't know if it stopped because it heard me say something, or, I don't know. It backed up, the car backed up, and came full speed. I don't know how fast, but they were going real fast towards me.
And this was like in an apartment parking lot?
Yep, it was an apartment complex, right? It was literally right in front of my building.
Okay.
And they just started coming towards me real fast. It stopped, and then he got out the car, and then he was like, "Why
When
you
you
call
say
your?"
he got out of the car, is that person here in the courtroom today?
Yes,
Do you see that person today?
yes.
Can you describe him for us?
He had a bald head. He had a neck brace on. When I seen him, he
Okay.
was wearing a white T-shirt. And I
And
think
what's
it
he
was
wearing today?
Huh?
What's he wearing today?
A green shirt, something around his neck, and a mask.
For the record, Your Honor, the complainant has identified the witness.
It's reflected.
Thank you. And I have your report here. If you just take a glance at it real quick, and it says helps you recall, if you, it's his statement. Mayor Pro Tem?
Sure. If
No.
it's just for purposes of the date, I want you to flip it upside down, Mr. Tucker.
I'll flip it up.
Flip it upside down. Will you stipulate to the date for purposes of exam? Counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, yeah.
It
We'll just leave it upside down,
Okay.
just in case if
Okay.
you and I, but go ahead.
was pretty much it, though. So he was speeding, and he heads out of the car.
And he gets out of the car, and he started talking to me. And he just like, "Why you calling your dog like he's dominant or something?" I'm like, "What you mean? I don't know you." And he started to slowly approach me. He just started getting a little bit more aggressive. I'm like, "I don't know you. What you talking about?" He was like, "You don't be calling your dog name like that. My pit bull will tear your dog up." I'm like, "Bro, what do you mean? I do not know you. Like, why are you coming up?" So I started to
Okay.
smell alcohol because he started to walk up on me more aggressively. And I kind of like moved, like, "Come on, move, bro. What you doing?" So my sister got scared a little bit. My dog started barking. So I told her to come in the house, go in the house. My brother already left in the house.
Okay.
He didn't think nothing of it. So I told my little sister, "Come on, go in the house." So
All
we
right, I'm going to
started-
stop you real quick.
Okay.
Back you up a little bit. What were your observations of the defendant at that time? You said he smelled?
It
What
smelled like alcohol.
Okay.
He was just like coming at me aggressive, the way he was
Yeah,
talking.
like what was his demeanor? What was he
And it
like?
was just like what you want to do, like
Okay.
he was like ready to do something. And I was just like, "Come on, bro, I don't know you like that."
Judge,
Okay.
I'm going to object to speculation
What's the speculation?
that he was about to do something.
I think it's his perception. I'm gonna overrule it. Go ahead.
So he was just like talking to me like, you know, like,
Okay,
like
so
he was,
what are some of the things he's telling you?
first he just talking to me like, yeah, he'd kill me, you know, he about that life, like, you know, he'd kill me, he ain't got no problem killing me, he got guns, all this and that. And I'm just telling him,
And
like,
those
bro,
were
come
his
on.
statements to
Yeah,
you?
like, come on, bro, what is you doing? You don't even know how old I am now. Why are you talking to me like that? And
Okay,
he just steady getting more aggressive. So as I'm walking inside, me and my little, she's in front of me, my little sister. I'm walking inside, he's steady approaching me, he just yelling stuff. Now I'm just trying to ignore him, walk in the house.
okay.
So my little sister yells my brother's name. She yells my brother, get him. I'm still at the door he you know, still talking crazy. Woo, my brother run to the door. We got to arguing a little bit. He walked upstairs. Once he walked upstairs, he started to come downstairs, and you could start kind of see something in a little glass part, like, cause the door is see-through.
Okay.
You can kind of see a reflection of something. Then he started coming like, what you want to do, raising his shirt, like, what you want to do,
And
you
what
know.
did you see when he
And I
raised the
seen a
shirt?
pistol. I know it was a black pistol. I seen the gun. I know what the gun
Okay.
looks like. I seen
Alright.
the gun. That's my brother. Get inside. Go. So that's when we went inside. We shut the door.
Okay,
So we called my mom, and we end up seeing the police once we walked outside later after that. But we called my mom and stuff. So we end up seeing the police and stuff, and they said, yeah, we just heard about it. Woo woo. So they was looking for him.
okay.
And he was nowhere to be found. So it's later that night. We're chilling. We all chilling. Everything's just, you know, we think nothing up. We hear a knock at the door. I tell my little cousin, hey, go see who at the door, you know. So he went to the door. He was like, somebody just saying open the door. I think it's him. I'm like, what you mean? He was like, bro.
Judge, and again, I'm going to object to hearsay.
Well, you didn't object
I'm
the
sorry,
first
but
time
I
to
object
hearsay,
to
so you'd have to
hearsay,
do
but
that
it's
to
just-
make it again. But sustained, and I'm gonna strike what your cousin said, just tell me what you did.
Oh, so I got up. I walked towards the door. I said, who is it? All I hear is open the door. I'm like, what? I was like, who is it? What do you want? And I can see. I look through the peephole. I see the white shirt. It's just compressed against the door. I don't know if he had nothing, so I didn't open the door.
Okay.
So he steady asking, open the door, open the door. So I call my brother, you come. You know, he steady asking, open the door. My brother like, what do you want? So my little sister started to call the cops. That's when the cops were on the phone, and they were still on the phone during everything. He started knocking, then he
Judge,
left for a
okay.
minute. That's when they
Objection to
said-
speculation and
Sustained.
hearsay.
And so what happened after that?
So after that, the cops came, or the cops were on the phone with the cops. The cops
And you
said they
guys
seen
called
him.
the police show up at the scene?
Yes, and they said they see him. They see him, buzz him in. So we're trying to buzz him in. The door's not working. They finally buzz in, and they see him, and they said they got him finally. Just stay in the house, you know.
And you guys just stayed in the
Yep,
apartment?
and
You
we
didn't come
stayed
back
there.
out?
We didn't come on them.
So I'm
We
gonna
stayed.
take you back to the gun.
Okay.
Prior to that, you said he would kill you.
Yeah, like he just like, I kill you. You don't, you don't want to do nothing. Just like I'm about that life, you know.
And then he
just kept-
flashes the gun
And
like,
he pulls his shirt up. But that was before the fact. Like he was telling me that stuff.
okay,
And then after that, I walked towards inside the apartment. My brother came toward the door because my sister yelled my brother's name. And he walked upstairs. He came back down. Like, you know, it started. That's when my brother seen through the reflection of the door. And he started pulling his shirt
Objection.
up.
Speculation to what his brother said.
yeah, let's
Or
only
saw.
talk about
Oh,
what you said.
keeps talking about.
Sustained.
So I literally just like, I'm just ignoring, I'm just watching everything. I walk and he just start coming up to me like, you know, I'm about that life. I will kill you, man. I'm not playing with you. And I'm just like, okay, whatever, man. I'm just ignoring him at this point. So I just walk in, and that's when we just closed the door and everything.
Okay.
That was that.
Mr. Tucker? Mr. Tucker?
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 19 years old.
Okay.
And then, so then you said he came back later, and that's when you called the police
My little
back?
sister called the cops.
Right, okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Gastow?
Yes, Judge, thank you. Good morning, sir. I'm going to be asking you some questions. If you don't hear me or don't understand my questions, just let me know and I'll rephrase for you, okay? All right. Now, you indicated that you couldn't remember the date that this offense occurred, correct?
Correct. I
Okay. You don't remember, okay.
I don't remember that day. I remember what happened that day. I just don't remember the day.
That's okay. Do you remember if it was daytime or nighttime?
It was nighttime.
Nighttime?
Nighttime.
Okay. Do you remember about what time?
Could have been like 9:30.
About 9:30 p.m.? Okay. All right, and so you had mentioned that you were outside your apartment at that time?
Yes.
And you had what? You had a dog with you?
I had my dog with me, my German Shepherd. My brother had his German Shepherd, and my little sister was out there with us.
Okay. And was your brother out at that time with you, or was he?
He was out at that time with us. He was out at that time when everything started to occur. But
No,
he didn't
just
think-
listen to my question. When you were first outside with the dog,
Yes,
okay, when you observed a vehicle drive by?
Yes.
Was your brother with
Yes.
you at that time?
yes,
Okay. At some point, does your brother go inside the house?
yes. Once the vehicle started to approach, he came, got out the car and started talking. That's when my brother went in the house.
Okay. And what vehicle did you observe?
It was like a white Taurus, like an older 2000 and something, or Mercury, one of them.
Okay. How far was the vehicle from where you were standing?
Probably like 10 feet, not even, like, it was close. It was on this road right by the sidewalk. It's like the lawn part, the little walkway, and there's parking spots, and like he poured towards where the parking spots were, where the walkway was, where I was
Okay.
at by the grass.
Okay, and you believe that that's about 10 feet?
I'm not sure, but it was close. It was real close.
Okay.
You can tell, you was real
Do you
close.
think it was more than 10 feet?
It was about 10 feet.
Okay. All right. Do you remember, I'm sorry, and I apologize if I asked you this already. Was it dark outside?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said that a vehicle came and it was going fast, right? And then it slowed down?
It was going like real fast, and it hurt the vehicle. I guess they heard me yell because I yelled my dog's name, and it completely just slowed down, just stopped, and they backed up. Once they backed up, they started coming towards me real fast, or he started coming towards me real fast,
Okay.
and he slowed down, got out the car, and that's when he started talking to me and saying all that stuff.
Okay, had you seen Mr. Brown before?
Well, previously, before what happened, I seen him
Just
at
earlier
Dollar
that day, yeah, had you seen him before?
Yeah, that day before that, yeah.
Okay.
And I seen him before that, like a month before. I don't even know if it was a month, but it was like probably a couple weeks before
Let's
that.
just concentrate.
Well, that
on
day,
this
yes, I
day.
seen him at Dollar General. Yes, I seen him at Dollar General.
Okay,
And he was coming out. He had a neck brace on. He had stuff in his hands with no bags.
okay.
I walked in Dollar General. I walked in there.
Well,
the
I'm
lady-
just asking you if you'd seen him earlier
Oh,
that
yes,
day. So
yes.
yes, you did?
Mhm.
Okay. Did you speak with him at all that
No.
day? Okay. Okay. So that was, the first communication that you had with him is when he got out of the car and approached you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, was that a yes?
Yes.
And did you say that he lifted up his shirt?
He lifted up his shirt.
Okay. And is that when you observed what you believe was a gun?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember where it was?
It was tucked right here, like under his shirt, but it was tucked to where you can see it, like in his pants, on his waist part.
Okay, and just for the record, the witness is pointing to, with his right hand down to his,
He's lifting his shirt up, and you can tell he's not pointing. He's just lifting his shirt
no,
up.
I'm,
like,
I'm saying that
pointing,
you are,
like, you know.
just let me make the record, sir. Hang on one second. Judge, for the record, the witness is pointing to, with his right hand pointing down to his waist side area.
Mhm.
Okay. And what is it that you saw?
A pistol, a black gun.
Okay. Was it like the handle of it?
Yes, the hand.
You had mentioned that you know what a gun looks like. Do you own a gun?
No, my mother has a gun license. She owns a gun.
Okay. How long did he have his shirt lifted up and speaking with you?
Not that long. Oh, it was towards the end of when kept saying he came back down. Had
So-
not even like 2 seconds, 3 seconds lifted it. It just.
One second, Your Honor. Okay, one second, Judge. What? Those are not. Judge. Nothing further at this time for this witness.
You can step down, Mr. Tucker.
Just a
Oh,
couple
go
real
ahead.
quick
Wait
redirects.
just a second, sir.
Yep. Sir, did at any time he put his hand on the gun?
No.
And was there any doubt in your mind that it was a gun?
Oh, I knew it was a gun.
Okay, absolutely no doubt.
It was no doubt it was a gun. I knew it was a
Okay.
gun.
And how did that make you feel?
I was just kind of scared a little bit just because he was already coming at me aggressive.
And why did you go into the apartment?
Because I didn't know what to do. I was just going to close the door and just hope, nothing happened.
Okay, that's it, Your Honor.
You can step down, Mr. Tucker.
People call Zarek Tucker.
Isn't this cumulative? Is it really necessary?
You're gonna go out that way towards Detective Harkins. Give me just a second, Your Honor, let me make sure I have everything. Yes, Your Honor, we can do without it, that's fine.
Your motion.
The people would motion to bind over on all counts, Your Honor.
Argument, Ms. Casto?
Yes, Judge, I'm going to object to the bind over on this case. I know that we've heard testimony from the officers, and unfortunately, I don't have the transcript from the preliminary examination, but I do remember that one of the officers that testified for identification of Mr. Brown had indicated that at some point they crossed paths in their vehicle, and that's
Right.
when he was able to
See him through the
identify.
front window. We had that whole conversation about his vehicle coming in the other direction. We watched the video.
Correct, Judge, and so I do believe that
I think, though, that that's an issue of fact. I mean, it is an issue of fact. But Ms. Morales-Smith, let's talk about the dangerous weapon, the assault on Mr. Tucker. I mean, the issue that he lifted his shirt, what's your argument on that he never touched the gun, but he lifted the shirt and showed the gun. If I take that as for factual purposes for today's hearing.
That he did make an assault upon Aaron Tucker. Aaron Tucker was intimidated, scared, frightful. They did all go into the apartment. At this time, Your Honor, we could bring out Zarek Tucker and tell him how he saw it too and felt the same way, and we could add the charge to Aaron Tucker, Zarek Tucker. We could also find the sister and add her at this time.
Ms. Castell, comments about that? And I would say that Mr. Tucker was clear that when he saw the gun that he told his sister, get in the house right now. And,
Yes.
and I do think that that's an indication. Ms. Castell?
Judge, the only issue is, I know that Mr. Tucker testified that he is certain that this was a firearm and that he has no doubt. However, I don't think that there is any evidence to substantiate that. I mean, it looks to him and it appears to him that it was a gun. There is no evidence that this was in fact a gun, let alone a real gun.
But if I take for purposes of exam only, the testimony from Mr. Tucker of Mr. Brown saying, I have a gun, I know how, you know, I'm that person or whatever, that's not the language he used, but that, and I'm not afraid to use it, I'll kill you. I think all of those combined is for purposes of today's hearing raises an issue of fact on that he thought it would, even if he, you know, even if they didn't find a gun, I think that he identified it as, and I think that for purposes of today, I find his testimony credible. And so on that note, I am going to bind the defendant over on all counts, but I know you want to talk about bond. Tell me what happened with Mr. Hathaway, somebody.
Judge,
Or Judge Hathaway, I apologize.
Yes, Judge Bridget Hathaway, I believe that he did go in front of her to address the tether violation that it was alleged. And I think we never got a full report on that. All it says is that some incident occurred outside of a hotel where he somehow got contact with the police, but we don't have any details that there was a victim assaulted, that it was Mr. Brown that assaulted anybody at that location. And so, Judge, based on that, I don't think that Mr. Brown's tether should be set at $25,000, 10%. He's already posted a bond of $5,000 before, and he did maintain contact with me. He was following up with his court dates, and also he did.
Response, Ms. Morales-Smith, we had him on a bond with a tether, and then I got rid of it because of this violation, but the violation was taken care of by Judge Hathaway.
What was
In pretrial services, it does say that that after review, it's recommended no court action.
What were the conditions of the tether?
It
Was it location
couldn't,
only, or was
it
it
was
house?
time and place, and if his violation was that he was out of the time, it wasn't like contact with the,
No.
it wasn't in our
Out of
area,
time
it
and
wasn't
out of
anything
place.
like that.
But he was out of time and out of place for his tether.
He was on time, but if Judge Hathaway has already dealt with that and dismissed the tether violation, am I not double penalizing him by leaving the bond after the tether violation has been taken care of?
Your Honor, I
Do you know what
would,
I'm saying? I know
I do
pretrial
understand.
services, and usually my comment is if pretrial services says don't change it, I'm not changing it.
yeah, no,
But
I'm-
the
I'm-
dynamics, the dynamics on this is a little bit different. Okay, so now you have to walk me through thinking about this though. So I leave the tether, I release him back on the tether under the original bond. I didn't forfeit it, right, Heather?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I release on original bond, since we didn't forfeit it, that was probably an error on my part, but it works to my benefit at this moment, with the tether. Okay? Heather, can you do that? Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll release him back with the original bond, which has already been posted. And then I'm gonna bind him over on all the charges, and the arraignment on the information will take place 2 weeks from today on November the 9th.
Thank you, Judge.
Good, I think that satisfies. Oh, and this was a bail bond project. That might be why I didn't forfeit it. But
Yeah.
so I'm gonna release him back on it.
Thank you
Heather will
very
get it
much.
straight. Heather will get it straight. Ms. Morales-Smith, I think we have Mr. Washington that's ready on Mr. Wilder. It's a Zoom. I don't know, do you wanna,
Judge, may I just, I'm sorry, may he go to work? Because he was employed. So is it okay that?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with work. Heather, make the
Not
notation.
curfew.
Not
just-
curfew.
Just location.
Yeah, it's just location.
Yeah, we'll do not curfew, but with location.
Okay,
And
and,
the location.
And that is to not, he is not to be at that apartment complex.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Correct. No,
But I
he
think
doesn't
that might have
live
been what the problem was, is that he was supposed, there was a curfew on the first time, Heather, I think. And he was supposed to be going to work, and wherever it was like 3 in the morning or something like that at someplace that I got it. But now we'll just make it location related, he can go to work. Miss Marilla Smith, are you gonna go in and jump on a laptop into my Zoom to do Wilder?
Here, since he's right there.
What?
I'll just come right here with you.
Oh, well, I'm not gonna do it from right here, I'm gonna go in my office. But, okay.
Thank you,
Well,
Judge.
you're welcome, we'll get it straight on him. You can,
Thank you, Your Honor.
let me have Mr. Washington see if I can't jump him in a breakout room and make sure that that's what we're doing.
Heather.
Hello.
Finally, I get to see your pretty face.
Well, thank you. Nice to see you.
The phone and email.
All right, sorry about that. Mr. Washington, sorry about that. Mr. Washington, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor, I can hear you.
Okay, we actually just finished the live exam, that's why I apologize. We were trying to do you first, but you were late, so we had to
Yes.
finish another one. I have Mr. Wilder on here, except for a Zoom exam, Ms. Morales Smith is gonna jump on. Do you wanna take a minute with your client? We have the officers ready to testify.
Yes.
Do you wanna take a minute with your client, see if there's another resolution?
I don't.
Yes,
I'll be honest, I don't even remember.
Your Honor,
I thought it was on Zoom.
can you hear
It
me?
was, but we had walked through all of the.
Yeah, then I remember.
Let me mute them, because they're all talking. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Yes, I talked with Mr. Wilder, and I believe it's gonna be a waiver.
Okay, Mr. Wilder, is that correct? Ms. Morales Smith, Heather, tell her it looks like it's a waiver. Yes. Mr. Wilder, can you hear me? I know he's on there. He's been,
Yeah.
Mr.
And I-
Wilder,
Oh, he's not on now, is
Mr. Wilder,
he? Yeah.
Well, it's got red.
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone.
Probably had to go off the Zoom.
yeah, I talked to him when he jumped on. Mr. Wilder, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Your
Okay.
attorney's indicated that this is gonna be a waiver, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you understand that by agreeing to the waiver by Zoom, that you're not gonna have testimony taken and you'll be bound over on this charge?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
The defendant and his attorney having agreed to the waiver by Zoom, I'll bind the defendant over. The arraignment on the information will take place 2 weeks from today, November the 9th. And Mr. Washington will let you know what's happening with that case. And anything else for the record, Mr. Washington?
Yes, Your Honor, one small thing, and I believe Mr. Wilder can correct me if I'm wrong. He was told that he had to give his fingerprints, I think at the, was it the Huron Police Department, Mr. Wilder?
Oh, probably, yeah, he may have had to,
He was-
Officer Schneider, did he get fingerprinted?
He was concerned about a warrant being outstanding for
We don't have a
him.
warrant on it. Officer Schneider, did he come in and get fingerprinted?
I don't see that he did. I'm checking now.
Oh, yep, I said, I need a fingerprint order. Heather, do we need a fingerprint order on Mr. Wilder? Do you want me to, that you're gonna email it to him and he's gotta go within 7 days? Mr. Wilder, I have your email address. I'm gonna sign a fingerprint order and it'll order you to go to Huron Township within the next 7 days, okay?
Well,
And we'll
the re-
send that.
I had contacted Mr. Washington about that. Can you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes, I can.
I contacted Mr. Washington. The reason why I was having a problem with that is because, and I know it's not your problem but I had, when I was arrested for this, I had a warrant in Taylor too.
Okay, well, no,
Taylor
it's not a problem. I'm telling you, we're gonna email you a fingerprint order. And then when you get it, it'll tell you to go to Huron Township within 7 days. Okay?
Well, my question, Your Honor, was, Taylor sent me my paperwork for my court date after my court date. I lost you, Your Honor.
He's got a warrant.
I'm out of the courtroom now.
Oh, she.
Hello?
I don't know whether the judge is still on there or not.
Oh. I'm trying to figure it out, Mr. Washington. That's
Sorry
fine.
about that, Mr. Wilder, but, I had to do something else. Yeah, but
I'm sorry.
there's no warrant out on this file. There's a notation that you have to get fingerprinted. So what I'm gonna do is Heather's
Okay.
gonna do up an order. She's shaking her head behind me. Heather's gonna do an order. I'm gonna sign it. She's gonna email it to you, and it's gonna tell you in the
Okay.
email on the order to go to the Huron Township within the next 7 days and get fingerprinted, okay?
So I'm fine to go in there and get fingerprinted and
You're not,
and the
they're
Taylor
not gonna
thing, I-
arrest you. No, there's no,
okay.
if the order's gonna say to do it between, if we do it today, it'll say to do it between now and whatever, next Tuesday, November 3rd,
Okay.
right?
Okay, thank you very much. That's all
Okay.
I'm wondering is about
Okay,
the,
yep, nope, you're all set, all right?
All right. Thank you, Your
Thanks.
Honor.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Washington. All right,
All
and
right.
thanks, Officer Schneider, and Officer Henley, you guys are all set.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Thank you.
you, and he'll be in within the